here, and today I'm doing my wrap up for April. I read 4 books, which isn't quite as much as I would have liked, but I actually really enjoyed all of the books I read, so I would still call it a really good reading month for me. So if you guys watched my wrap up for March, you would have known that the last book I read was actually Winter by Marissa Meyer, which was a monster of a book, and so after finishing that, all I wanted was something really cute and fluffy and lighthearted and quick that I could just breeze through, and everything by MacLeod fit the description perfectly. I've been wanting to read this for such a long time, and then the trailer for the movie came out and I was like, why haven't I read this book yet? It's about a girl named Maddie who is basically allergic to the world. So she lives in a bubble house, really. She lives in a room where the air is constantly filtered and she's not allowed to have any contact with anyone from the outside world. So her life is basically her mum and her nurse. Until a boy named Ollie moves in next door and the rooms are opposite each other. So they end up writing each other messages on their windows and then eventually texting and emailing, and it really gave me, I don't know if any of you remember the You Belong With Me music video from Taylor Swift, but it really gave me that kind of vibe and it was just adorable. I know it's not super realistic, but I honestly didn't even really care. The book is in a mixed media format, so you have entries from Maddie's journal, you have chats between her and Ollie, text messages, emails, which I really like, and Maddie was quite dramatic when she was talking about Ollie and about her life. I just really liked her narrative voice. I really liked her relationship with her mother, the fact that she didn't resent her mom and that she really understood how much her mother has had to sacrifice for her. There was kind of a plot twist in the book. It was kind of obvious, but I don't think the predictability detracted from the book in any shape or form. I think it raises a really important question, and it's a question that I've been asking my friends and family quite a lot recently, and that is, would you rather go through an intense period of happiness? Would you rather have loved and then have it taken away from you, or would you rather have not known it at all? And people's answers have been pretty interesting, so let me know what you would have done. Would you have risked everything for love and friendship, or would you rather not known it at all? In the end, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. This book has actually been on my TBR for the longest time since the show came out on Netflix and everyone was talking about it, and I really didn't want to get spoiled. I thought I'd better pick it up so I can start the show straight away. I'm not sure if there is anyone who doesn't know what this book is about, but just in case, it's about a girl who unfortunately takes her life and she leaves behind a set of 13 tapes addressed to 13 different people who she believes contributed to her decision to end her life. This is obviously a very sensitive topic. To me personally, I don't think this book was written for people who are going through mental illness. It's not a survival story. It's not a story with a happy ending. This book was specifically written for the rest of us. It teaches us that you can't just go around in life thinking that you live in your own private little bubble and that your thoughts and actions don't have consequences. Everything that you say or do, whether you intend to or not, influences other people. Just because something is done often and done by a large group of people doesn't make it right and doesn't make it okay, and I really think it was very good that the book called people out on that. I know some people got really touchy about the fact that it seemed like Hannah was blaming these kids for her death. I didn't really see it as Hannah calling out the kids at all. I really think it was more just her saying, hey, think about what you're doing and think about how it can affect other people. I also really thought that the book addressed the stigma surrounding mental health and the mentality that a lot of people who haven't been touched by mental health have. For example, victim blaming. I mean, we talk a lot about victim blaming in things like rape culture, but we don't often see it addressed in mental health. And as someone who works in the health industry, I see this a lot. People who don't understand that mental illness is as much of an illness as hypertension or diabetes, and I really think that it's important that this book touched on these messages, and I think it did it really well. And I wouldn't say it's a book that everyone should read, but I do think that if more people read it, then people would be more conscious of how their decisions affect other people. I mean, kindness costs you nothing. It costs you absolutely nothing. And if there's one message that you can take from reading this book, or even from just listening to my review, then that will be it. Needless to say, I was blown away by this book and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So for the rest of the month of April, I got swept up in reading the last 2 books in the Darkest Minds trilogy by Alexandra Bracken, which is Never Fade, which is book 2, and In the Afterlight, which is book 3. And guys, this has hands down got to be one of my favorite series of all time. If you didn't hear me talk about The Darkest Minds in my March wrap-up, the trilogy is a sci-fi dystopian where America has been hit with a plague that killed about 90 or 95% of the population of children, and the ones left over have developed superpowers. So you have 5 categories of superpowers. You have greens who have enhanced intelligence. So for example, some of them have photographic memories. You have yellows who can manipulate electricity. You have blues who can manipulate objects and people, as in like physically. I'm pretty sure there's an actual term for that. You have oranges who can control people's minds, and then you have reds who can control fire. In the series, the government has rounded up all the kids and put them into a camp. They tell the parents that it is a rehabilitation camp to cure the kids of the disease, but really what they are slave camps. They starve the kids, they force them into hard labor, and they make them suppress their abilities. I loved how fast-paced these books were, particularly Never Fade. In chapter 1, there is already a fight scene. Alexander Bracken wastes absolutely no time getting into the thick of things, and I was honestly on the edge of my seat the whole time. I will be doing a full non-spoiler series review for this trilogy, so I won't go into it too much further, but I do want to highlight two things that I really enjoyed about this series. The first is that it has multiple villains, so you never know who's going to be a potential enemy. In real life, there is no black and white. There's not just a good group and a bad group. Everyone is the hero of their own story. Nobody sees himself as being a villain. Why is it that we saw one group as being the heroes of the story and another group as being a villain? It was just a really interesting question. The other thing that I really liked was the diversity in the books. Two of our four main characters in The Darkest Minds, which is the first book in the trilogy, were people of color, and as the series progresses, more diverse characters are introduced. One of the main characters even has selective mutism, and that sort of diversity is very rare in the sci-fi dystopian world, so I really highly commend Alexander Bracken for that. For this series, I gave Never Fade and In the Afterlight both a 5 out of 5 stars. It is 100% one of my favorite series of all time now, and I cannot wait until the movie comes out next year. So guys, that is it for my April wrap-up. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. Let me know in the comments below what you read in the month of April, what your favorite books were, and what you're excited to read in May, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Bye now!
You could be my it girl, baby, you're the shit girl, loving you could be a crime.